Types of muscle contraction. We've got to understand this if we really want to maximize our body weight training. Feel free to use these concepts in barbell, dumbbell, loaded training in the future, but especially when it comes to body weight, when we have so few options in terms of resistance, contracting muscles intentionally is going to be really key. 3 primary types of muscle contraction: concentric, isometric, and eccentric. Concentric, I'm going to use my bicep. I wish I had done some arms before this, but a concentric contraction is it's exactly what we think of. Think of a bicep curl. It's the weight down in our hand contracting upward. The shortening of the muscle under tension, that's a concentric contraction. It's what we think of. We do concentric contractions all the time, and that's usually the focus of a lot of our lifting. We will continue to do that. I'm going to jump actually to eccentric. Eccentric is actually tension on the muscle fibers in moving the opposite direction. So think of the down phase of any movement, the down phase of a bicep curl. If the concentric is a press and a bench press, the eccentric is focused on the down. Squat up is concentric. The down phase would be the eccentric, tension as the muscle is elongating in the opposite direction. That's eccentric contraction. Isometric would be essentially a held pause at anywhere on that spectrum from start to stop. So if I wanted to get the most out of a bicep curl, you can actually do this, by the way. If I were to curl up and hit sort of mid curl and just hold, that's an isometric contraction. The most popular variations of isometric contractions are likely all the plank variations that people usually do as part of their ab routine. So those are the 3 variations. Here's how they're going to be written. Concentric, we usually write in reps, so maybe it's 10 reps. Okay. Isometric is usually written in time, so say it's 30 seconds of a held contraction. Eccentric is written a little different. It talks about the descent, then a pause, okay, time at in the base of a movement, and then the ascent or the eccentric contraction, the isometric contraction, and the concentric contraction. Let me explain. Picture you're doing a squat. Okay, so say you're about to go down into the squat. The first thing that we're going to write is the time of the down phase, the eccentric phase. So say it's 5 seconds. 5 seconds down. 1 second hold. Maybe it's 3 seconds up. Okay, I don't know that this is necessarily, that put a lot of tension on the muscle fibers throughout the movement. This is just a hypothetical. They're not necessarily written this way. But that would be the eccentric, that would be the isometric, that would be the concentric. So if you imagine that just in this squat example, I would think ready. Let's just say we want ready arms, standard arms 90 degrees. And we're just going to hold this position as we drop into a squat. In this example, it'd be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as I go down to the squat. Hold at the bottom of the squat for, as written, 1 second. And then ascent, concentric contraction, 3, 2, 1. Okay? And you can do this in a variety of ways. A lot of people, maybe it'll look more like a 5 second, a 2 second. And actually, some people will indicate with an X, which means just essentially explode up. So if that's eccentric, isometric, concentric, that would be 5, 2, X. It could be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 1, 2, fast up. So that's how we'll write it out. Coaches, familiarize yourselves with the way these contractions work. Okay, and the way that we're written, either reps, time, or this eccentric pattern, how long it's going to take to descend. And as always, if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. But I'm telling you, it goes year-round, but especially when you're doing body weight training, the time under tension for our muscle fibers and in these muscle groups, that's going to be key.